But Warden finds Rizraz. That's the Legion off the board. It's now 5 versus 3. Darkside do have the numbers advantage. Mindfreak can still pull off this defense though, and Magnet says we certainly can, and he takes down Fletch. Thermite's off the board. It's now up to just the remaining members of Darkside to make this push happen with a minute to go.
Yeah, Magnet's pushed up here, and if Darkside are unaware, oh no, Cutie knows. As he's going to go push up, try and take down Magnet. He's going to walk in and he's going to take him out. That's an important frag right there. That's the crossfire gone, and Darkside, they're ready to make their play. They're ready to push in. Jack Daddy, just be careful of Neo though. Neo is on an incredibly low amount of health. Both
of the remaining defenders have C4 with 35 seconds on the clock. This is how they're going to have to deny this plant. The EE1D is going to come out though, and that's going to deny a push from the defenders. Diffuser is getting dropped. It's not actually getting planted. Wings is going to jump straight on in there. Where is the diffuser? The plant needs to come down now. Jack Daddy finds Neophyter. 17 seconds to go. Aces finds Warden. It's a 1 versus 3. Cutie with only a sliver of HP is going to be planning here, but Jack Dad finds that one, and Darksided are still in this.
Wow, that was a round they needed to win, and they did an excellent job right there. However, that's not it. Mindfreak still are on match point.
Yeah, but it's now, instead of a 4-2, it's a 4-3. Darksided only Mindfreak have one round to buffer, but Darksided, they've just won another attack round despite Mindfreak showing us a new bomb site. The question is, can Darksided pull out a defense round? Mindfreak have pulled out one. If Darksided can't, then, I mean, that's going to be the end of the road for them.
Yeah, and we don't want to see them going home without seeing a very cheeky overtime just yet. We've gone to 3 maps, we might as well go the whole way. Magnet on IQ. That is not what I was expecting.
We haven't seen a lot of IQ so far, but what we have seen is a lot of Vigil. Guess who directly counters Vigil?
IQ? Oh my god, it's almost like he did it on purpose.
Yeah, 200 IQ.
Yeah, 200 IQ plays right there from Magnet. Every operator on Darkside's lineup is actually counted by IQ right there. I'd say it's a pretty good pick.
Yep, I definitely would say so. I mean, you can spot out the batteries, you can spot out the ERC7 that the Vigil has on his back, you can spot out the Mute Jammers, and of course the Valkyrie cameras. I think that IQ is a really fantastic operator to pick on Consulate of all maps. There's so many gadgets that are going to be useful, and I mean, they're going back to the top floor. They haven't actually gone to the top floor yet so far. They defended the lobby twice, were unsuccessful. Then they went downstairs, they were unsuccessful. Now they're going up top. Mindfreak last round showed us their first. We've seen now both teams go to all the bomb sites on the map.
That's it, hey, and we've only seen Mindfreak win their defenses so far.
Darksided have...
They took the attack round last round.
Yeah, Mindfreak are the only one to have won a defense so far.
Yeah, so you know, we really need to see something change. I mean, from Darksided.
If they want to stay in this, absolutely. I don't know how much this IQ is going to be able to do in this attack round, though. We don't have the Glaz, which Darksided were using on this attack. We instead have the Blackbeard from Aces, but they do fulfill very different roles. And we can see one of the Darksided players has actually reinforced one of the more deeper walls inside it. You can see this wall directly to Wings' left. That's going to allow him to not get wall banged from the yellow stairs. He's allowed to play a lot more free inside of that site. As you can see, a lot of Darksided players with a presence in admin as well.
Yeah, so right now it looks like Mindfreak aren't paying attention for it though, as we saw one of them just rotate out, and Fletch going to be going for a long rotate downstairs as Rizraz finds Wings and gets an early. Nice start to the round for Mindfreak, however. You know, Darksided really can't let that go by itself.
Wow.
And there we go, Jack Daddy making the refrag that he needed to. Is great for their play into the round, and Fletch as well is going to back it up with 2 before Lusty finally shuts him down.
And now it's with all that said and done, it's a 2 versus 3 for Mindfreak here on their own match point. They have to clutch this one out. They have tons of time, and that's really not going to help Warden as Jack Daddy falls to his teammate C4. Unfortunate that would happen for Darksided so close to when we thought that they might have a chance at a comeback. If anyone is going to be clutching this round, it's going to be Lusty, the clutch master himself. He hasn't been performing quite to his standard in this matchup, but if there's any time to shine, it's got to be on match point. Save us from going to overtime.
That's it. Darksided though, Warden and Cutie, that's a dynamic duo on their own. Warden, he did just C4 his teammate, but I mean, he's been getting a large number of frags all day. I think that's what makes up for it, but right now he really has to shine.
Maybe he was just saying, all right, guys, look, we know we have the numbers advantage, but we don't need it. We're comfortable in this one.
Let's give the viewers a laugh.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, Jack Daddy, see you later.
All right,
oh, what a run out here. Warden tries to jump out. He's been doing so well in this best of 3, but really fallen off on Consulate here. It's now all up to Cutie. He's been spotted out inside of the connector. He doesn't have a rotate out of here. Lusty, though, on the bathroom window, going to be cornering him inside Magnet. A nade. Oh, could this C4 make it? No! Cutie misses his C4. He's still in the middle of a crossfire, but Mindfreak have to get the plant going, and Lusty pushes in, takes it with the bearing 9, and that is GG. Mindfreak take the win 5-3.
Yeah, that round was honestly neck and neck. Either team could have won it. I think it was a bit hasty of Warden to jump out. Also a bit hasty to see for his teammate, but that's not the battle. Bit hasty to jump out on Magnet as he was looking right at him. I mean, yeah.
Warden wasn't having a good game that last one.
No.
That last round in particular, he managed to get a team kill. But on the whole, he still managed to top frag on his team with 9. Rizraz on the side of Mindfreak, almost doubling the score of the next contender for Mindfreak with 11 kills. A fantastic job for him.
Yeah, I was really happy with that matchup. You know, we saw Mindfreak lose the map, which shows that Darksided, they're going to have some things to bring on land. You know, they took a large number of rounds, and we saw some great plays and players on both sides. I think really showcased both teams really well.
I think map 1 was really the incredible one. We saw so many different clutches, 1v3 for this team, 1v3 for that team. And then Coastline was just some really great teamwork from both teams. I think the round wins really came down to the teamwork rather than the individual plays so much as what we saw on Border. And you know that second map was won 5-3 for Darksided. Nice and comfortable, I'd say, for them. They're looking good on Coastline. And then coming into Consulate, I really feel like Mindfreak had Darksided on the run ever since. I mean, the first 2 rounds, the first four rounds, were traded back and forth attack wins for each side.
I think on Consulate, we saw a lot more mid-round adaptation and sort of just overall adaptation from Mindfreak, whereas Darksided really just couldn't almost figure out the map, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, what I like to see is that both teams, after 2 losses on the same defensive side, they decided to switch it up. We saw after two unsuccessful defenses of the lobby, Darksided decided to go down into the garage, and in Mindfreak, after unsuccessfully defending the top floor twice, they went to the lobby. And in the end, we actually saw each team go to each bomb site at least once. Unfortunately for Darksided, they didn't manage to clutch it out on that last one, defending the top floor. But Mindfreak looked very comfortable.
Yeah, I think Mindfreak were honestly just overall the better team on Consulate for sure. They really just showed that when Darksided did something that caught them off guard, they made a change that really worked. Like you saw Fletch and Warden roaming upstairs once, and they made the change to push the middle floor rather than just ignore them. And I think that really showed that they knew what they were doing. They could make some adaptations mid-round, and it really showed that they were the team that deserved to win that.
The round with the clip you're seeing on screen was really a great one for Mindfreak in my eyes. They didn't take the top floor control. Instead, they decided, all right, we can push piano while watching our flanks. And it was Rizraz on the Ying who really single-handedly won that for his team. Rizraz did a great job with the Ying, another swift number of kills in this round on another defense of the main lobby. Attack onto the main lobby.
Yeah, and Fletch, that was a great kill right there onto Lusty.
How many times do you rappel into a window and actually manage to find the kill shortly after? I feel like when you're repelled, you're so exposed, but nonetheless, he managed to get that one. This was also another great try here from Fletch, but in the end, Magnet had everything going for him. This was the first round that we saw go to the defenders. That was really a turning point. Mindfreak, they'd lost the top floor twice. They went to the middle floor, and it came down to a 1v1, but Magnet wins those. Yeah,
from there, Mindfreak won the majority of the rounds and won the rest of the game. It was really a momentum shift that they just worked out really well. That was an excellent kill by Jack Daddy onto Rizraz there. This was the round that jump out right there, it was a bit hasty, and I really think, as well as the C4, cost them that. And Warden did so much for them, but...
An unfortunate reload peak from Cutie is what made him fall in that final one, but nonetheless, on the whole, Darksided looked really strong.
They did. I'm excited. You know, this is not the Darksided we saw when they got 15-1 by MF.
Yeah.
This is a new Darksided.
And, I mean, we've had this slightly different roster in what we saw today compared to what we saw in that ANZ Cup, because obviously Wings is playing as a substitute for Nico tonight. Wings is also going to be playing as a substitute for Jack Daddy at the LAN event himself. What do you think about Wings' performance today and how you think he's going to fit into the LAN team?
I think Wings is playing a bit of a supportive role. I mean, he was definitely doing things for Darksided on the rounds that they did succeed in. Overall, though, nothing particular stood out. I think Warden was stealing a lot of the limelight.
Well, Wings was by no means like a key fragger for his team, and I think that a lot of the time when you say, oh, who was the highlight player, it's the one who's getting all the kills, right?
Yes, you often miss players like Wings, where it's really hard to tell what sort of impact they have on the team unless you're looking at the overall strategy, which sometimes might be missed.
I'm fairly happy with how he fitted into the team. I think that the real hallmark for me is, did they manage to execute their strats as a team, and did he look like he was on the same page as all the other players? Did he manage to fulfill his role? And I feel like the answer to that was yes, on the most part. Yeah,
I think Darksided played better today than we have seen them play in a couple of weeks, and overall I'm excited for how they're going to go in the APAC LAN.
Absolutely. He's going to be replacing Jack Daddy, so a bit of a different role. He might have to be a little bit more of a fragger, but we'll see how that fits in. I think he's a fairly dynamic player. So nonetheless, let's talk about what's coming up next for you tonight. We have Atletico Esports versus Zero Gaming. They're fighting over 3rd place here in the ANZ Pro League.
They are highly contested. Both teams, I mean, they're going to be pulling out all their strats because unlike Mindfreak and Darksided, they don't have to worry about hiding anything for future competition because this is it for them in the Pro League. This is going to be their grand match to close it all out, so they are really not going to want to let go of anything.
And absolutely, with that, we're going to leave you guys. Time to head on to a break, but we'll be back very soon for Atletico versus Zero Gaming.
There are 2 formidable new attacking operators in government-issue yellow suits coming to Rainbow Six Siege. Do not be alarmed if you suddenly feel a burst of health, experience drastically reduced recoil, or feel that you can see through walls. It's all perfectly normal for Operation Chimera. These CBRN specialists are at home in both cooperative and competitive situations. They're both rated 2 speed and 2 armor, and they each have 3 primary weapon options to help you play to your strengths. Let's start with Finka, the Spetsnaz specialist who's here to enhance your performance with her Adrenal Surge ability. By triggering nanites in the attacker's bloodstreams, Finka juices her whole team with a veritable pharmacopoeia of boosts and buffs. As soon as the borders of your vision go blue, you'll get a shot of extra health. This HP boost can also revive any teammates that are down but not out, no matter how far away they are. Boosted attackers will also move faster through barbed wire and recover more quickly from concussion and flashbang effects. And here's the kicker. This is your recoil. This is your recoil on Adrenal Surge. Any questions? Adrenal Surge is available for use twice per round. Side effects include an elevated heart rate, which makes Adrenal Surge users detectable from longer range by pulse. Do not use Adrenal Surge if you are in, or plan to be in, a cloud of toxic smoke, as your faster rate of breathing will lead to faster injury and death. If you step on a goo mine, or get zapped by a yokai drone, the effects of Adrenal Surge will cease immediately. Adrenal Surge is not an effective barrier against frost traps. Ask your teammates to find out if Finka is right for you. Now let's talk Lion. Hailing from the GIGN, Lion is a formidable presence thanks to his very large backpack and his indestructible aerial drone that constantly hovers in the sky. Dubbed the EE-1D, this drone can scan the entire map, and any defender that is caught moving during the scan will be immediately lit up with a real-time, full-body outline that the entire attacking team can see. Lion takes getting droned out to a whole new level, and he can give the attackers an edge at almost any point in their assault, from dealing with spawn peekers to defending a planted diffuser. But there are a few ways the defenders can fight back. Once Lion activates his drone, both attackers and defenders will see a countdown, letting them know the scan is incoming. When the scan goes live, a visual effect kicks in and a timer icon appears on screen to show you how long it'll last. Once it's gone, there's a cooldown before Lion can scan again, and he can scan 3 times per round. The easiest way for you defenders to avoid getting tagged by the scan is to simply not move your feet. You can rotate in place, aim down sights, fire your weapon, and even change stance without being detected, but the second you move your feet, you're tagged. Mute jammers will disrupt the scan, so you can freely move as long as you're inside the jamming radius, but the moment you leave, you're tagged. Still, getting tagged isn't a death sentence, and a crafty defender can try to bait attackers into pursuing their bright red outline, while their stationary teammate lies in wait for an ambush. To keep up with the latest in Rainbow Six Siege, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and visit us at news.ubisoft.com.
Welcome back to the Rainbow Six Pro League playoffs for the ANZ region. I am Dev Mata, and joining me, of course, is Elastic. How you going, man?
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. I'm excellent because we just had an excellent match between Mindfreak and Darkside, and it looks like we're going to have another great one as well.
Absolutely. So here we are waiting for the Zero Gaming versus Atletico. This is the match to play for the third place in the ANZ Pro League. Obviously, Mindfreak and Darkside are duking it out for #1. That went to Mindfreak.
Yeah, I think that's the one we predicted. We didn't predict it would be so close.
Yeah, I think I'm very impressed by Darkside managing to take out not the first map, but the second map on Coastline. It was 5-3, which is also very admirable. A great job from them. They managed to take that out very confidently. Mindfreak on Consulate, though, managed to pull through on the decider map, 5-3. Very, very strong attacks, and what really made the difference is the fact that they could actually win their defenses. Darkside didn't manage to pull one.
Yeah, it was a lot of adaptation by Mindfreak, which did really well for them. I think they deserve to win that just based off that solely, pretty much. So
we've got Atletico versus Darkside coming up next. Let's have a look at the Atletico roster to start with. Silex, Dirtbear, Todd, Uni, and Emorin.
Yeah, we were talking about how Emorin was a thorn in the side for the Mindfreak or Darkside a couple of weeks ago, as he is an amazing player, a fragger at just best and at worst.
Yeah, he managed to pull 18 kills on border against Darksided last week in the match that was for the LAN spot.
Yeah.
So Atletico was so close to getting LAN, but in the end, Darksided managed to pull through despite some serious effort from Emorin. In my eyes, the other lookout player is Todd on this roster, a fantastic fragger. And also, Uni is interesting, not so much a fragger, but the new IGL, the most recent addition to the team.
I think changing out on IGL is the biggest thing you can do to a team, because it changes the entire play style, how people communicate, how people play, just in general, what pushes get made and what mid-round adaptions get changed, and really, it can make or break a team.
Let's have a look at Atletico's opponents today. Zero Gaming, Rock, Zapruder, Bobo, Virtue, and Shade. One player we haven't seen for a little while on the roster today is Bobo.
Yeah, we have not seen him. He's the player that, I mean, might not be as familiar with Zero Gaming's recent playstyle.
Yeah, well, he's been playing with Rock for quite some time. He played on previous editions of Outlaws and other such teams alongside Rock and Shade, I believe. But the difference here is that he's going to be switched out, and basically he's going to be bringing something a little bit different to the roster. We've seen Zero Gaming go through quite a few players more recently, and I mean, for example, DOS was a fantastic fragger for Zero Gaming's side. Brought out the Blitz, brought out the Ella, did things a little bit differently, a little bit more interesting. But he's not here today, and I think Zero Gaming, despite having these roster changes, have really been showing very, very strong last week, taking it 2-1 to Mindfreak.
Yeah, I think what makes Zero Gaming as a team's playstyle is just a bunch of insane fraggers and great team play, and really able to take advantage of chaos and confusion that other teams might not be ready for. And that just sort of defines their playstyle to me. They can really get some insane frags. They can pull some clutches that you won't see coming. A bit like Mindfreak, Aces, and Warden did last game. But yeah, I mean,
I'm really expecting Virtue and Shade to go off in this matchup. Yep. They are the crazy fraggers for these side. Virtue on the Buck, and I think often a lot of Legion as well. He's really lethal on those roles. Anyhow, let's have a look at what maps they're going to be playing today. As you can see, Atletico having chosen Bank, Zero Gaming choosing Oregon, Chalet being the decider here.
Yeah, that's interesting. Chalet and Oregon, they're extremely popular matches. I know Oregon is a massive favorite from Zero Gaming. I'm not surprised at all. What surprises me is that Atletico didn't ban Oregon straight up.
Yeah, a little bit of surprise there, but I mean, Atletico fairly comfortable on Oregon as well. They actually managed to beat Taboo 5-1 recently in the Pro League. And, well, here we are on Bank. Bank is actually in that matchup with Taboo. They managed to win it. They lost it to Taboo here on Bank.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at operator lineups, there might be 1 or 2 or 3 or maybe 4 operators are a bit surprising. Zero Gaming, I don't know if you can pick it, Dev. Just take a wild guess.
The Smoke is like, that's an operator that gets picked sometimes, right?
Yeah, more along the lines of why is there a Tachanka and a Kavera on that side?
Hey, look, don't ditch the Kavera. Atletico's, it was actually Darksided versus Atletico last week on Border. Darksided picked the Cav, and it actually worked. He got a 3K. I believe that was Cutie, but yeah, I don't think that's what they've got in mind here for Zero Gaming.
Yeah, I don't know how to take this. I don't know if Zero Gaming...
It's obviously a strat that they've clearly planned out.
maybe that, or maybe they just don't really care about third place all that much. That could be what I'm thinking, but
they're having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, I mean, they might have found some use for it. Zero Gaming, I know, are a team that does the unexpected. I mean, they rely on confusion and chaos, and maybe Zapruder actually has a use for this. Garage has been highly contested by a lot of teams for a while, so no, he isn't going to be ignoring Garage.
I'd like to see, I mean, if anyone does push through Garage, there's no doubt they're going to be able to completely counter that position that Chankatara has been set to. And, you know, not likely we'll see that Tachanka actually making a difference. I'd love to see the Tachanka get a kill, but, you know, a man can dream. No guarantees that'll actually happen. As we can see, Atletico brings some frag-heavy operators here. The Jackal, the Zafir, and the Ash all together. They're doing a top-down clear. Todd, having droned out open area, he knows it's nice and clear. He's going to be heading on inside, taking some map control.
Uni on Dokkaebai. That's more meant for clearing roamers, I believe. And speaking of roamers, it looks like they have found someone in... Yeah, they found Vigil. Well, they have a general idea of where Vigil is. Rock is on Vigil. They haven't found him just yet, but they have an idea. It looks like Shade. Yep, they've seen Shade. He is running up the main lobby stairs. Zero Gaming are running here, there, and everywhere, trying to juke out Atletico and waste a lot of their time on the roam. Yeah,
and this roam at the moment seems to be fairly successful. Rock getting both Dockbeat and Jackal Scan at the same time, fixes up his phone, pre-firing through the walls, and Shade falls. That's the Caviera off the board. 1 minute 30, 1 roamer down. Still is Rock, though, rotating up into Skylight at the moment. No, he's hanging around Arcos. I'm not quite sure what he wants to do, but at the moment, he hasn't been taken down, so he's still doing some work for his team.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Silex hasn't gotten the hatches just yet.
Oh,
but,
wow.
There we go. Rock with the knife takes down Uni, as he will be down to himself. I'm not sure who that is by, but through the wall, he will be finished off very shortly.
Yeah, Uni falling to the boss G as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a deadly weapon if you can land your shots just like Rock did. And Rock's got the aim. So really, it's a great gun for him, and he just showed us that.
Only 50 seconds here on the board. Zapruder opening up some sightlines. He's relocated his Chanka turret. He's getting his teammate to make him some sightlines as well.
I'll give it to him. That's actually not a terrible spot for him. You can't walk down those stairs.
Yeah, it's true. He's not sitting on it at the moment, though. The thing that makes Chanka so difficult to use in this game at a high competitive level is that mobility means everything. As we can see, there is no mirror in a position to help out the defenders and give them intel. But what they do have is a C4 on Bobo. That's the cap cannon. Of course, the 3 gas canisters from Virtue himself.
Yeah, it looks like Atletico, they're going to be leaving this pretty late. I wonder if Virtue's canisters are coming into effect. But lots of concussions coming out. C4 going through, not going to find anyone. Derpe team kills Todd. Looks like the plant has started from Silex. Is it going to be able to be covered? As it looks like a team kill from Zapruder is going to take down Bobo. The plant has gone down. But Atletico are in a very dodgy position, as Virtue will find Emo, and it's a 2v2 right now. This could easily go in the way of Zero Gaming if Atletico aren't careful with this.
Oh, and a flank, though, from Derpe cleans up the last 2, and that's the round for Atletico. And I did say that I was hoping that the Tachanka would get a kill, but I didn't mean a team kill.
Yeah, it was all your fault, Dev. I can't believe you've done this. That was a very strange idea behind it. I really just am guessing it's a bit of a laugh, because I don't see the tactical purpose in that at all. It was interesting on the stairs. It was interesting on the stairs, I'll give them that. But from there, it was just not very well.
Zero Gaming are having a laugh at the moment. Yeah, they picked up the Capcan, the Caviera, and the Chanka. Didn't work out for them. I really feel like if they wanted to, they could have played a little bit better, even if they had. I mean, even with the operators that they had picked. I mean, imagine the sweet victory of winning a round with a Caviera, a Capcan, and a Tachanka. And
a Tachanka team kill.
Yeah, and a Tachanka team kill. Would have been nice for them, but no. They are going to be bringing out the Finker. I mean, I would love to contemplate the intense strategy of that operator pick, but at the moment I think that Zero Gaming have shown that that's not really what they're about at the moment.
Yeah. Seeing a first Finker, I think, in Pro League so far on the Zero Gaming side, I'd like to see a rush. That would be interesting. Buff everyone up, jump straight in. It's always highlights of the day, but
wouldn't put it past him. Virtue playing the Ashe, he can do some serious work on that operator, as we saw last week in the match between Zero and Mindfreak on Cafe. Virtue did a lot of work with the Ashe, and I mean, if you're playing an Ashe with even less recoil than Ashe usually has, and on top of that you've got increased ADS time, you can really do a lot.
There's a lot of fraggers on the team right now, is what I think we're trying to say, and Finker is just going to help them out a lot more. Oh, there we go. Emo has been spotted out and is going to rotate down and then just juke them out and head straight back up. I think that's what Zero Gaming won't expect. Yeah. Oh, hiding in the main lobby. Todd will take down Zapruder, and this rush that was happening is not going to go very well as he finds a second. Rock will take him out, though, as the trade happens too late. Uni sitting upstairs. Zero Gaming, if they can get to site, then they might be able to do something, but right now it's just sitting on the edges and not working very well for them.
There's still such a heavy roam from Atletico. We've got Derpair. I believe that is Derpair, Rin, and Uni all still roaming. They're going to be stilted out by this Lion charge. Rin looking to potentially get a flank going from this top floor elevator. He can head into lobby. He's got Uni actually to help him out as well. Atletico could definitely pull off this flank.
Yeah, right now Atletico are in a lot of strong positions, but Rock is going to dethrone Derpair from his strong position and make it a 3v3, all in favor of each other now. Oh, Emo sees one drop. He's going to be spotted out, but it's not going to matter because Bobo can't look behind him. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head. And right now, Uni is going to... What was that shot on the Rock? As Emo will take down Virtue, and Zero Gaming are going to fall 2 times in a row.
I don't know how Uni managed to get that one. Emo picking up the last one. What an angle there. But yeah, that was a crazy 4-man roam from Atletico. Todd picking up the first kill, just lazy droning from Zero Gaming. They obviously just weren't being thorough with it. They were just running in there, and it wasn't enough. Even though Atletico were doing something that we would say typically wouldn't work, having a 4-man roam on Bank usually wouldn't work.
Yeah.
But it did, because they punished Zero, because Zero didn't deal with it in any way whatsoever.
Zero Gaming literally ran right into the middle of 4 people on the roam. They tried to rush. They got pinched in between everyone. Todd got 2 opening kills in the main lobby, and from there it was disarray. And Zero Gaming, I'd say they work with disarray, but when it's in their own ranks and they don't know what's happening, then it might not go so well for them, as we have seen.
Heading back to the bottom floor bomb site now, Zero Gaming are going to be defending with a much more familiar lineup. As we can see, looking at the kill distribution, Todd and Emo, along with Derper, actually heading it up for Atletico so far, but only 2 rounds in. Doesn't really tell us a lot, aside from Rock being the only one to actually scrounge out more than 1 kill for his team. On this basement defense, we've got a lot more typical operators selected. We've got an Echo, no Capcan, no Caviera, and no Tachanka either.
Yeah, this is a bit more typical that we'll see. Zero Gaming might have lost 2 rounds, decided it wasn't as fun as they thought, and now they're going to start bringing it back a bit, possibly. That's what I think might be the idea behind it.
I'd be interested to see how Rock plays in this round. Once again, he's got the Boss G. He managed to get 1 injure with it last round, which he finished off with a knife. That was onto Uni. And it looks like he's potentially wanting to go for a spawn peek here out of the front lobby, heading out onto the north side. He's going to open up that spawn peek. No doubt he could open up multiple spawn peeks and then choose which one he wants to actually push through. Setting himself up for a heavy roam using both his impact grenades.
This is the exact same setup he used last round, and Atletico shut that down very easily. Not sure if this is the smartest decision Zero Gaming have made all day.
One thing I do like about carrying this Boss G on visual is you can actually use it to open up hatches. Yes, it takes quite a lot of time. You have to use 3 of your Boss G slugs, but oh wow, he actually spotted one out. He misses the shots onto Rin, and Emo cleans up Rock. despite taking a lot of damage. Perhaps that was a Boss G slug to the leg, dealing that much damage. But Emo gets away with his life and Rock does not. And that is an unsuccessful roam for Zero Gaming.
I think Emo's lucky to have the leg if he landed a shot with it. But that is going to be a great start by Atletico, as you've said. And Derpe is going to hop in. And I'm not sure if we have got any more roamers because Rock seemed to be the only one playing that aggressive. That being said, though, it's nothing stopping the rest of Zero Gaming from hopping back up on the roam, which it wouldn't surprise me at all, knowing the team, because they're a group of fraggers, and that's what fraggers do.
I wouldn't be surprised if they start going for some interesting plays, but honestly, at the moment, they're getting shut down by Derpez Jackal scans. Virtue, actually, we've got Zapruder playing inside of the server at the moment. He's in a position to delay a lot of time, but typically, best way to deal with someone behind there is with flashbangs and frag grenades. And of course, since there's no Jaeger, they're not going to be able to prevent the attackers from completely destroying Virtue with that utility.
If he can use his smoke grenades to slow them down a bit, though, that could really help him out. Even just encasing himself in the smoke grenades to sort of create some confusion that Atletico aren't ready for could work out.
Atletico are going to be going for a push onto servers. Imorin prepping himself to shoot some lifeline concussions down there. Unfortunately, managed to get him through the impenetrable floor. Not quite sure how that happened, but nonetheless, he is going to get concussed, and I believe that is Zapruder getting on out of there.
Yeah, probably the smartest decision right now. There's a lot of denial in the hands of Zero Gaming. You've got Smoke, you've got Echo, you've got C4 from Valkyrie and possibly Virtue, not entirely sure. If Atletico aren't ready for this, and if they can't get any covers or possibly push into site to cover the plan, then it could really go bad for them. But it looks like Todd might be rotating the garage to catch Zero Gaming off guard.
Well, there's 4 smokes for Atletico, plus Todd, as you said, rotating to garage. It's a lot of work over there, a lot of utility in their favor to try and counter this disruption. As you can see, the players inside of garage aren't actively holding this. But it's not Bobo with the Echo drone and the ACOG holding this, and it's going to allow Todd to just shift W inside of there on this Ash.
He can really come up for a flank right here. He's easily going to get this banded. Is he going to be able to find another, though? He is, as he picks up Shade. Bobo finds Derpe, but Emo's pushing into sight to be able to cover for a plant. The diffuser is in the hands of Silex, so surely he's going to be getting the plant down by now. Bobo is the last one left sitting in the gold vault. As Atletico seem to know this, they're holding him in, and Todd is going to push, takes him down. And that is the 3rd kill for Todd in this round, and Atletico, we're taking 3 rounds home so far. It doesn't look like it's going to stop just yet.
Wasn't looking too great at any point for Zero Gaming in that round. They lost Rock within the first few seconds of the round, playing way too aggressively with the Boss G, no less. Peeking, he managed to hit poor Imorin in the leg, but it doesn't really make much difference on the whole. The remaining players of Zero Gaming really didn't manage to make a difference in the end of that round, as Atletico just started to close their fingers around the bomb site. And then a great flank from Todd, coupled with some sound cues produced by the Dockerby, was a really good way for Atletico to pinch and grip onto the site and completely obliterate any hopes of Zero winning that round. And as you can see, Silex hasn't managed to get a kill yet, but he hasn't managed to get a kill or a death yet. I don't think he's seen a single player so far.
Ultimately a support player. That's what he does. He's the one droning 24/7. He's the one planting the diffuser. I'm sure he helps Uni with IGL stuff as well. He is a team player that any team would be lucky to have. And honestly, I don't think you can fault him for having no kills.
He's got no deaths as well. I don't think he's seen a single play. He's just been, all right, I drone in the entry fraggers, and then I jump in, and then I put my Hibana charges on the wall, and then I do some more droning.
Gets
and then I plant
when
the bomb.
he sees like an inch of a player. He's like, hey guys, a Sorella. And then Todd kills her. And it's all over. But yeah.
Atletico are going to be defending their secondary bomb site now of Teller's Archives, as they have successfully defended the basement. I like this mirror strategy we've got from Silex here inside of the admin office, looking towards kitchen. Now, this is a little bit of an odd strategy we've got. It's funny because it's incredibly exposed to the top floor. That hatch that, as you can see, Silex himself opened is a way to completely disable that mirror if the attackers can get hold of that ground.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Shade is going to be on Zofia. Zofia is an operator that Atletico and Zero Gaming both favor a lot. Haven't seen her a lot by other teams, but these 2 guys, they just absolutely love them. Shade and Emo on them for the respective teams.
Zapruder and Shade together have a lot of destruction in order to open up some of these soft walls and completely expose the defenders. As you can see, oh no, but they're looking downwards. At the moment, I believe Imorin inside of the janitor's closet. Zero Gaming have to deal with this, but they don't know about it because Imorin can't be drunk because he is Vigil. He has rotates, and he's going to use one of them to head on downstairs into the admin office and hold an angle upstairs through the hatch he has just dropped through.
Not even sure Zero Gaming did do any droning to figure out Emo was up there, but Zapruder is going to be dancing with death, and that C4 is not going to be the end of him. As he is pinching that mirror into a corner right there, she's stuck. If he opens up above her, then that is going to be very close for her life.
We really have to see some capitalization on these Lion charges, but Derpair finds Zapruder. The Bok has finished opening up the floor. Derpair wins that. Pulse versus Bok.
Pulse is perfect for this site. You can't fault him. There's nothing you can do wrong as a Pulse here. Well, I mean, there is. You can miss. But in this case, Derpair did not miss, and Zero Gaming are going to be put in a disadvantage because of that. Right now, it looks like Atletico is starting to make the transition onto site.
Shots from Shade go down and take Silex off. He has finally got a death on the board. Imarin now rotating into the site. Wow, sprays through the wall. All it takes is one bullet onto Shade, even through the floor, and that would be Shade taken down. But Rock pushes into the front, and that is a kill there onto Imorin. Todd, one of the only 3 defenders left after getting a kill onto Bobo, is going to get detected downstairs. Zero Gaming have only 50 seconds, but they've got Shade and Rock inside the bomb site.
Ooh, lots of fighting between Ella and Ash, but none of them are going to be alive just yet, as Rock is going to be covering for the plane as he takes down Derpair, 2v3.
And as you can see, it's up to Virtue, Rock, and Shade, the defenders, Diffuser, Todd, and Uni to retake. Uni, after trading a few blows with Virtue, Virtue's decided to get on downstairs, but Uni is in a perfect position to flank. I believe that is Rock. No, that's Shade, and Shade gets taken down by Uni. Uni flicks to the second one, but can't find it. 2 versus 2 now. There's another one inside, but Rock takes that down. It's all up to Virtue. Virtue has to stop Uni from disabling this. He can get it, and Virtue with a double kill to clutch the round, and that's the first round on the board for Zero Gaming.
Wow, that was, I thought for sure that Uni was going to have that diffuse right there, but what a shot that he needed to hit, and he absolutely hit it. He hella hit it good, and that was the end of Atletico.
And it was so close as well. I really thought Atletico were going to win that round. I was surprised that Zero were allowed to just waltz on into the side. I believe it was Rock who just walked into tellers.
Yeah.
Imarin was surprised to see him there when Imarin just, you know, hipfire peeked into the room. And he got taken down swiftly by Rock, but then a nice retake from Uni and Todd. In the end, it didn't really matter. Zero Gaming came back with Virtue.
Yeah, certainly worked out very well for Zero Gaming. Whether it should have is another question, but they've got where they are. And right now, Atletico, they're not going to be running a Lion, which, I mean, looking at a lot of the utility they've got a Jacqueline. I'd say that Jacqueline Lion is just such a strong combo right now that you almost, I mean, Dokkaebi, really, I mean, I just don't agree with that operator when you've got things as overpowered as Lion.
The thing is that, I mean, a lot of teams I know are preparing to... They're preparing for the upcoming meta, especially these 2 teams who don't have any more serious matches in this Pro League season. They're not going to land. They're preparing for the next Pro League season, and in the next Pro League season, Lion will be nerfed. There has been a nerf deployed to Lion on the TTS, and that's no doubt going to be coming to the game in some shape or form, which means that teams are preparing for Lion to be not quite as powerful as he is right now. And the thing that Atletico is doing, bringing the Dokkaebi, it's quite different to Lion. Instead of a visual cue, it's an audio cue. And instead of having flashbangs or claymores as a secondary, you can use smokes. And smokes are so very on meta at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. And right now, I mean, I'm not sure if Zero Gaming I think they're taking it a bit more seriously than they were in the first couple rounds. So that's good to see, as Atletico clearly weren't expecting what happened, because you saw Derpair.
Hipfire shot. Sorry, I usually save my gasps for particularly spectacular events, but
that was pretty spectacular.
It was spectacular. Great hipfire shot with the dig. A Juan dig, as they call it.
Good work, Shade. Awesome.
Yeah, and I like this. We're having Todd use the vertical game in order to try and clear out these roamers, but there's a lot of utility being expended since their Ash charges are fairly rare. You only got 2 of them in your Viper Strike. Apparently it's called the Viper Strike. Who thunk it?
I think it's the Elite skin that we've got. It's a new one, but it's forced Shade back into the sort of archive section, and that's going to be making it easier for the rest of the team to figure out what he's doing. He's dropped down though, and it looks like Atletico won't be able to hunt him for any longer. It looks like...
Yeah, we didn't really mention this before, but Zero Gaming have chosen Kitchen and Open Area as their defensive site. And this is by no means the first time we've seen them defend this site. They weren't too happy with their downstairs defense, so they decided to, all right, let's change it up. Atletico, though, they proved themselves to be able to take this bomb site incredibly strongly when they're attacking Taboo's defense just last week.
Yeah, they did, and I really think that they have to get a move on, otherwise they won't see the same success rate. Because right now it's 5v5 with a minute and 10 seconds to go. It was something that Darkside had pulled off last game against Mindfreak, but it's not something that you can safely do right now. So Atletico need to get a move on, get an opening frag or two. Otherwise, unfortunately, the round might go to Zero Gaming, and
they're not really trying to directly counter any of the holds that Zero Gaming are having on site. Atletico are just kind of pinching very, very slowly, inching their way around the bomb site. And they really haven't got any picks. They need to get picks. They need someone on this east window to deny the area that Zapruder is playing in right now, and the angles that he is holding. They need someone to be using their smokes, but Silex is the first one to fall for Atletico. Derper with a quick reply onto Shade, but Bobo gets one onto Derper in reply. Again, Uni has been injured, and Emo taking some serious damage. He manages to find one, but Virtue finds Todd. Virtue finds Emo. Zapruder finishes off Uni, and there were two players injured, I believe, just there at the end. And Virtue managed to finish it off with a nice kill onto Emorin. And that's another win on the board for Zero Gaming.
yeah, 2 rounds in a row. Maybe they are going to be able to bring this back, because Atletico's 3-up lead is fading away very quickly. They've only got 1 buffer round left. So maybe Zero Gaming have decided they want to turn this around. Speaking of turning things around, turning around the operator picks, bringing a Twitch. No, a Thermite, ignore me. Doesn't matter. Thermite is good as well.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see a bit of Twitch, but you know, I wouldn't put it past Zero Gaming to try something a little bit different. But at the same time, I think they've realized, hey, guys, if we actually try, we can kind of win this. So why don't we just go for it? Atletico, though, I think they're to blame on that last bomb site.
Yep, entirely. I think they just took way too long. They didn't counter any of the defenses that Zero Gaming were holding up, and I mean, it was just a bit of a strange idea. They were just waiting around for a long time. Really, just there's not much to say about it other than that. They just wasted time and didn't apply an effective push.
Heading onto the downstairs bomb site now once again. Atletico have been successful in defending this in the past. Now they're going to try it again. It's really strange to me seeing an Ella from Uni.
Yeah, well, he took it the other round, and it got him a kill because the gun was just jumping around a ridiculous amount when he was on the stairs of main lobby. I mean, sure, the concussion mines are useful, very useful, but ultimately I think that it's just better utility for the team right now.
Uni isn't a fragger on Atletico. If you want someone to frag, you pick up Todd or Emorin. Uni isn't a fragger, so why is he playing such a fragging role? We don't have a smoke on the side of Atletico. We only have 2 C4 to deny the plan.
Yeah, we have absolutely no denial aside from that C4, and I'd say denial is essential here.
It's really strange to me. I mean, we did see Uni playing the Ella on the Teller's Archives defense as well. Don't really know what's going on with Atletico's picks there. I really feel like even if you wanted an extra roamer, maybe get Todd to do the roaming, get Uni to play something with a little bit more to contribute to the team.
Yeah, so at the moment, Rock, he's headed into open area, a pretty standard push right now. Looks like we have got a couple roamers on the side of Atletico, interestingly enough. That's what they were doing the first round, and going to be trying to pull it off again. I can count at least 3-4 people upstairs right now. It would almost be worth Zero Gaming just trying to rush to the garage, to be honest.
I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that, but of course then they have to watch their flanks for these players who are rotating downstairs. Uni doesn't manage to get a kill before he falls to Shade with a nice headshot with the Vector, but he gets instantly refragged by Todd, picking up the Lion. Todd having a little bit of trouble struggling with that drone, but he's about to find another one. Only 7 rounds left in the 4:16, and it's not enough as Virtue takes down Todd. Another refrag. So far, the kills coming out in favor of Zero Gaming, who have only lost 1 for Atletico's 2.
The roam, it didn't work out too well for Atletico there because Zero Gaming just managed to get the frag. See, what I mean about Zero Gaming being a sort of opportunistic team, getting frags, is you saw really, there wasn't a ton of droning there. The action sort of just happened. Like, they picked up kills that they won because of gunfights, not droning. Like, they knew that Shay got taken out by Todd on the top floor, and Virtue sort of just popped the window open, peeked through, got a kill. It can work sometimes, doesn't really work all the time. Worked out for them and I'm happy about that, but...
Ooh. And we've actually got Zero Gaming using the Hibana to open up this sight mirror that Salix is using. I really like that, but oh no, it actually opens up an angle that Salix is going to use to take down Virtue in plant spot. That's evening it up to 3-on-3, and Emo in here going for a flank using this Vigil. Is he going to find one? No, Rock, what a flick! Takes down Emo Rin. Now it's a 2 versus 3. Make that a 2 versus 2 as Silex is doing some serious work here on the anchor position. Dirtbear holding the vault side with the kill onto Rock. It's now all up to Bobo as he starts to plant inside of the smoke.
Is Bobo going to be able to get this? He's made the return to Zero Gaming. Is he going to be able to make it a successful return? Pulse isn't going to be able to see him. The range is too great. They're all really separated from him, actually. He could just enter the B bomb site, but he's just deciding which one to go into right now. He's going to plant right under the hatch.
He's trying to bait it, but you don't have time, man.
They can't
There's a 7-second plant time, and now he's going to use that entire remaining 7 seconds in the round to plant. He's going to try and go for the kills. He can't even find the first one. He gets an injure there onto Silex, but in the end, Atletico take their 4th round in this, turning us onto match point at 4-2.
Yeah, this is not the close matchups we saw last time between Darksided and Mindfreak. I really think Atletico have got the edge here, but Zero Gaming have a lot in them, and they can bring it back. It's just that they're not executing it really well as a team right now, and that's what's holding them back. They're all individual players here.
I definitely agree with that. They managed to win the refrag game on the roam, but I really feel like Uni shouldn't have died without at least wasting more time or getting a kill. First thing he did at the start of the action phase, he walked up into meeting, jumped on top of that table, and he died in that exact same room. On your own, you've got to waste time by moving around.
100%. It wasn't too great, and now Zero Gaming are going to be headed to a bomb site where they are, there's a lot of different ways to defend this. You can hard hold the site, but then you'll have attackers destroy the upstairs roof above you. You can have people play upstairs, but you have to be able to hold, or you have to be able to rotate back, and there's got to be some coordination in that. Do you think Zero Gaming can pull that off? I
think they can do this. They've been winning through, well, honestly, the last defense they won of open area was just because Atletico didn't take it very well. I think if Zero had gone CEO office, maybe they'd have a lot of luck as well, because Atletico seemed to be struggling tonight with the thinking on their feet. They didn't do a very coherent push onto open area. Perhaps they wouldn't be able to do the same. I mean, basically, the way I think about it is if you're scrimming this map all the time, you get lots of practice scrimming the bomb sites which people pick typically. So that's on this map, Locker's CCTV and Teller's Archives. Atletico have done this attack hundreds of times over, regardless of how defendable the bomb site is. They've had practice. Whereas if CEO is a less defendable bomb site, but they've had less practice, then well, maybe that'll work a little bit better for Zero Gaming, for the defenders, if Atletico stall out, just like they did last time, onto open area.
It looks like there is quite a heavy presence upstairs by Zero Gaming. They are opting to hold the top floor with 3 people up there. It's almost an Atletico-style roam we saw last time with a very large amount of roamers. They need to be able to either get some picks up there, though, or be able to rotate back, because we can see what Atletico are doing right now, where Derpe looks like he might even just try and push horizontally and ignore the top floor, or he'll just go back up there, never mind.
I feel like we've got Atletico pinching onto this top floor CEO office right now. They've cleared out CEO, pushed people further into Executive Lounge, and they're going to be trying to push that. Oh, Uni with the DMR, going to be trying to find players inside of the lobby as they rotate downwards, but Emorin gets the first kill onto Rock. That's the pulse off the board. Some wallbangs trying to come out as his teammates are going to be pinging the locations of, I believe, is that Shade or is that Virtue?
I don't know who it is, but whoever they are is trying to run away as quickly as they can, and then it's been spotted out that Shade is behind them. He is going to rotate back to side after doing quite a bit of heavy damage to Derpe and Nemo.
Yep, Zapruder is actually going to be shooting up through the floor. His phone has been ringing, but he's not managing to actually land any of these shots just here. He had been Jackal scanned, so he decided to head on back to site, and that's where most of Zero Gaming are currently. With Virtue roaming in open areas, Zapruder gets injured from holes above. Silex starting to push in through lobby. This is what Atletico needs, a pinch from both sides of the map and top floor. Virtue's not going to let that happen as Derpe falls. That's the Jackal off the board.
Emo and Atletico is very tagged up right now. This is match point. If they can close it out here, it's going to save them a lot of trouble. But Emo, being one of their heavy players, does not want to be tagged up. Todd, full health though on Ash. He's ready to make some plays. But need to figure out how Zero Gaming are holding this. As soon as they can isolate some players, they can start to make a move onto the site. But right now, they're only just starting to make that happen.
There's nothing to prevent Silex from opening up this wall. That's going to open up more and more angles for Atletico to use. Emo in finding Bobo is going to put Atletico in an even better position as now they have the numbers advantage. Todd and Silex pushing into the bomb site. Alongside of Uni, Todd's going to be using some flashbangs, but Virtue finds Emo Rin. Uni refrags onto Zapruder, and now Todd has to prevent this flank from Shade. He does just that as he cleans up his head, and it's all up to Virtue, the man who's been doing all the work for Zero this round in a 1 versus 3 clutch for the map.
Virtue really has to win this, otherwise it looks like Zero Gaming might be having a struggle for the rest of today. He's seen the diffuser, but he's really not finding anything up here. He needs to rotate down, otherwise time is just going to be ticking away, and he's starting to do that. But there we go. Todd picks him up from the main lobby desk, and Atletico are going to take the first map 5-2 in a very Atletico-esque fashion.
Good half comes out from Shade, and that it was. Good half, good third, however you want to say it. A fairly dominant performance from Atletico here on Bank, 5-2, but that should be noted. I guess you could say that Zero Gaming gave Atletico a free round with I guess you could say the trolling at the start.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I mean, Atletico didn't perform quite as... Oh my goodness. 12 kills for Todd.
Hey.
That's crazy. Reaching double digits and passing double digits, heading up to 12 in only 7 rounds. That's very impressive.
Yeah, it's really nice work right there.
Atletico were really strong on Bank, but they did even better against Taboo on Bank. They did 5-1. And here, as you can see, yeah, the Tachanka coming out from Zapruder didn't manage to do much in the end.
No, really. The only thing it accomplished is the team kill, which is not that great. As, yeah, we saw Todd in the main lobby there, right there. He picked up 2 kills in this situation and really did great work for his team in slowing down the rush of Zero Gaming.
Yeah, I can't believe that that roam worked from Atletico. I really think it was just the carelessness on the side of Zero Gaming. Gifted Atletico a couple of rounds there. And in the end, Atletico just had more rounds, and I guess they were more in the headspace. I really liked this play here. Todd decided that he was going to head up into the garage, push on the other side, and in conjunction with the Dockerby phone calls, meant that he could know exactly where the players were coming from due to some audio calls.
And then from there, Atletico pretty much closed it out. This was a very nice clutch by Virtue, though. I thought he wasn't even going to be able to get to the site in time, but he cleaned them both up very easily.
So that was Bank, 5-2 to Atletico. What's your prediction? We didn't really talk about predictions for the overall result.
Well, Bank was Atletico's map, first off, so I'm not surprised that they had the advantage on that. Overall, though, I'm not entirely sure, because Oregon and Chile, they're both very maps that every team in ANZ will be familiarized with. So it could really go either way, you know. I think Zero Gaming favour Oregon, though. That's something I'll say. Interesting
that you say that. I mean, we have had Zero Gaming... I don't know, I feel like Zero Gaming aren't quite as good on Oregon as you might say. Zero Gaming lost to SYF on Oregon earlier in the season, whereas Atletico most recently just beat Taboo 5-1 on Oregon. I feel like Oregon's going to be an Atletico-favoured map, despite it being Zero Gaming's pick. Honestly, the one that I think is more Zero Gaming favoured would be Chile, because we haven't seen a lot of Atletico on Chile more recently, whereas Zero Gaming managed to beat Team Tahoot 6-5 in it last week.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess we really have to wait and see. Even if we get to Chile, you know, if you're saying Oregon is as good as it is, then Atletico might even just close the series out there, and we won't even see Chile as a map. But I mean, honestly, as Oregon, I think Oregon, because it's such a familiar map, Zero Gaming, they're a chaotic team. Chaos can work really well for them, and if you know a map really well, then you can sort of run it through your own agenda very easily.
What I'd like to see from Zero Gaming, I think what they need to do in order to win this one is just play really aggressive on the roam. They need to do something crazy. They need to do something like what we used to see from SYF earlier, maybe not in the Pro League season, but even before that in the ANZ Cup, doing a heavy roam when defending the downstairs bomb site up inside a dorm somewhere. You know, we've seen teams use mirrors up there in order to delay time, and I think that that's something that would definitely work for Zero Gaming.
Lots of vertical play is a characteristic of Oregon. You'll see a lot of strats that they're sort of overused in a way, not because the strats are overused, but just because the map is played so much, that even a very small strat will be used a lot because just of the sheer amount of times you play it, and probably because of how much of a favorite it is. I think that both teams will be ready, and it's sort of down to gunfights because the strats are known for Oregon. It's just who wins the engagement. Really.
I think it's going to come down to who's more awake today, who's playing like themselves today. I think Atletico has shown that they're not, you know, undefeatable. I don't think this is their top form at the moment.
I think it's hard to tell where Atletico are at right now because they are undergoing changes with Uni IGLing right now. So maybe they haven't even found their current playstyle.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, talking to Flux as the coach, he's been fairly confident in the roster currently, but at the same time, it still does take a long time to warm up to new players, especially when that player is an IGL for your team.
Yeah, I think Uni, we've seen him playing, I mean, there's lots of different ways to play IGL. He's been playing Ella a bit and Dokkaebi, which is quite interesting. Overall, Todd was the previous IGL for the team. So far, are you liking how they've been playing?
I like the Atletico playstyle of letting Todd and Imarin be the aggressive players, but I don't like it when Uni is handed the aggressive roles, like an Ella, for example.
Yep.
If you're given an Ella, you kind of have to frag on an Ella.
Yeah.
It's one of the redeeming traits about Nella. She has a fantastic gun. She has one of the highest RPM guns, the highest fire rate guns on the defensive side. And I mean, yes, you could say, you know, her gun's been nerfed. The recoil is really difficult to control, but I'd argue that, you know, that doesn't actually make that much difference. She's still got a fantastic weapon, and you really need to frag playing that operator.
Sometimes the random recoil can really just even help you hit headshots. You know, it just jumps around enough that if you have bad aim, it can really sort of help you out sometimes and save you.
Yeah, and this is the other thing I was going to mention that we've seen a lot of on Oregon more recently is the meeting strats. You mentioned that kind of strats seeming a little bit tired at the moment on Oregon. We've seen everything. But what we're seeing kind of the most recent trend is meeting hall strats. And this castle being brought for Zero Gaming tells me that that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, see, the issue with meeting strats is occasionally teams will just entirely ignore them. And from there, Shade's entirely reinforcing off the meeting hall. So they're going to hold it. And what that says is that it gives Atletico the option to completely ignore it. Something Zero Gaming do a lot on Oregon is they will constantly push the back of the side. So they will value the meeting hall a lot, which is why they are holding it, I would assume. But we'll see that on their attack, I presume.
What I'm interested to see is where these mirror placements go, because something I've seen a lot of is a mirror being placed inside of meeting on the southeast wall, the wall looking south but on the east side, and a mirror placed there alongside a like some opening of the holes at the wall at the top of the main stairs. We're not actually seeing that though. See, as you can see where Virtue was just standing, I've seen a lot of players open up that wall. Oh. Right when I'm talking about strats, we've actually had some early encounters. Shade manages to get an injure there onto Derpair, but Imarin follows that one up. And I mentioned aggressive roams being what I thought Zero Gaming needed to stay in this one, but Shade solo roaming upstairs with Castle, going for a spawn peek, that's not really what I meant.
Look at it, he's almost taken his HP back though. Like Derpair's on half health, Emo's on about 3/4. Really, there's just a quarter HP difference between the teams. It's not really going to affect much for Atletico though, because they can still have the full utility of a 5-man pushing and pinching together. It's not really going to matter for them, but Zero Gaming are of course down a man. And luckily Castle has probably used his utility already.
Yeah, I'd expect so. Those impact grenades and those Castle barricades. What I'm liking at the moment is it's interesting to see where Bobo is playing. He's gotten very aggressive. I think he just threw a Legion mine into some banded barbed wire. Don't bandit your barbed wire if you have a Legion on the team. Your Legion is going to hate you forever. Trust me,
Yep,
I know from ranked experience.
Just that. Right now though, Silex and Uni are going to be doing a lot of droning for their teams. Just trying to figure out how this is going to move forward. This castle up here is a bit interesting. It's going to slow Uni down, but I don't think it's really going to matter because he's got 4 other people to sort of decide what's happening.
Plenty of time. Yeah, and another thing I find interesting is that Shade's phone is actually sitting on his body just on the other side of dorms. Uni could use that if he decided to hack the enemy cameras, but I guess just an afterthought. Honestly, it's not the most useful utility that Dokkaebi brings to the table. Yeah,
now Atletico have taken the meeting hall free of charge, as Zero Gaming are not going to be trading anyone for that, interestingly enough. Virtue's taken out Derpair, but Emo's run right inside. Wow.
That was 4 quick kills before you could say, what's going on? Silex jumps in and gets 2 for himself. A great job from him. What a good job from Silex. Right when we're talking about how Silex was not a fragger for Atletico, he says, all right, guys, if you give me a bearing 9, I'm just going to jump in there.
It's my turn, guys. I'm going to get some kills. And he has gotten his kills for the night. He can go back to planning. Thank you, Silex. No. Now, Atletico winning that first round, it's going to be crucial for momentum. They won the first round of Bank, and they went on to win that map. So possibly we'll see that again. Zapruder going to be on Twitch. Twitch is good on Oregon specifically because Mirror is good on Oregon. And as we said before, if you're a Twitch, you have 2 jobs, and they're both taking out Mirror at windows. So that's going to be interesting to see how he works that in.
As far as maps that are good for Twitch, I definitely think Border is one of them. The only problem is if you're heading to the top floor bomb site, Twitch is a lot more limited. And that's where we're going to be seeing Atletico take us for this first defense. Now, Twitch is still useful. There are still mirror windows to take down, but it can be quite difficult to get your Twitch drone into useful places in this this
There's nowhere
site.
to hide.
Yeah, there really isn't anywhere to hide, and you have to go through one of two choke points, either this door here on the east side of dorms, or you have to go from the white stairs. And both of those tend to be watched with eyes like hawks, so you don't tend to have a lot of luck doing that. eiNs once again playing the Vigil. He's been playing so much of it, and Uni once again playing the Ella. I'm quite bewildered.
Yeah. Really, I think Emo doesn't matter what operator he plays, he can get frags regardless. In that way, I'd almost say that chuck him on Thermite. You know, he can get kills with that, fragmite as soon as he gets his utility out. But, you know, Atletico have their role for him, and Todd and Emo are actually both in the tower right now, interestingly enough.
Emo wasting a lot of drones as well. Vigil not even saying, all right, I know I'm immune to drones, but I'm going to spend my time taking them down anyway. And people really underestimate how much utility that you can destroy with those drones. As you can see, Zero Gaming getting very aggressive onto the tower, and Uni once again falling before managing to deal any serious damage. And only 40 seconds into the action phase, and Shade's already found his first kill.
Yeah, Atletico have put themselves into a good spot where they can run away. Unfortunately, Silex wasn't able to run away from the headshot that Shade served him. And now that is going to be 3v5 for Atletico and Zero Gaming. But
two of the roamers were off-site as well. eiNs and Todd were all the way in Watchtower, leaving Derper, the sole Atletico player, to defend the site. If Zero Gaming are aware of this, then perhaps they can cut off the rotations from Todd and eiNs as they try and get back to site. Maybe even do what needs to be done and actually take the site and turn themselves into the defenders.
Right now, Zero Gaming are in the best position they've been all game so far. And this E1D is going to help them out even further. I want to see them take their time here, though. I don't want them to rush in. They need to really figure out where the remaining defenders are and work to flush them out from them.
Shade on big window at the moment is going to be wasting these ADSs using his concussion mines. He opens up a line of sight into dorms. And wow, Bobo actually just manages to get the kill onto eiNs, who runs out from the kitchen and dining, leaving only Todd and Derper now. Derper almost managing to find one, but Shade comes in from behind and takes him down. It's now all up to Todd in a 1 versus 5 retake. Virtues inside of Attic to cut him off, and that's round 2 going to Zero Gaming.
Yeah, Zero, they got a couple of opening frags there, and that helped them a lot. Atletico really struggled to regain site control from there, and it was just simple picking apart from Zero Gaming. Textbook work, and Atletico will not be taking 2 rounds in a row, as this map is showing that it might be a tiny bit closer than the last one.
We traded 1-for-1 attack rounds in our previous match, between Mindfreak and Darksided. That was on Consulate. Took quite a while until any of the teams could break through a defense round. Yeah, we've only seen 2 rounds so far here on Oregon between Atletico and Zero, but it's looking to be a similar trend, at least for now.
Yeah, for sure. I think Atletico still not bringing a Lion is quite interesting, because I know what you're saying about trying to learn the new meta, but surely you want... It's such an overpowered operator right now that bringing him can really help your team out. And Atletico just going to want to close this out quite quickly.
I'm a little bit surprised that out of Ying, Glaz, Lion, all the operators that can do that kind of thing, Atletico have brought Dockerby.
Yeah, they've been bringing it every single time. I honestly think it's a favorite operator of Uni's, I think.
I mean, Todd used to play a lot of Dockerby as well, but I really don't see a necessity for it. I would have preferred a Glaz, Ying, anything really.
Yeah,
I mean, yes, you might be... It's the only smokes on the team for Atletico is on the Dockerby, but there are so many other operators that have smokes. Hey, get Capitao. Capitao's fantastic on this map.
Extremely good on this map. Yeah, it's really just a lack of good utility, I think. You know, I'm not entirely sure.
Adding on to that fact is we've got Todd bringing the Ash instead of a more utility-based operator.
Yeah, we talked about how Ashe is almost not picked anymore because she has very little team utility. Swap out the Ashe and Dokkaebi for a Lion and Glaz, or a Lion and Jackal, and it's going to make life for Zero Gaming absolute hell.
You should be able to frag just as well on a Lion as you can on an Ashe, realistically speaking.
Yeah.
The weapons are both fantastic. You really should be able to do that. Nonetheless.
Rock and Shade looking to be a bit aggressive on these stairs. Maybe that's something that some teams will do. It can pay off extremely well. I remember seeing Pengu run up the stairs, get a 4K, and just a lot of players like Aces as well run up the stairs on mute shotgun and get a 4K. It can really...
Yeah, but as soon as Emarin opens up this angle at the top of the stairs, that is going to get completely negated. Silex opening up the hatch as well as the angle from Classroom. This is going to force the Zero Gaming players who are playing aggressive inside of Laundry to head back down. But one of the things that they do have going for them is the fact that Shade's Vigil ERC7 is going to be disrupting the drones. As you can see, playing very aggressive under the hatch. They're not going to be able to drone that out and know about it, which means they're going to have to peek without knowing what exactly they're looking for going down there, and that can give Shade an advantage.
Yeah, we've seen quite a few players play underneath the hatch and be successful with it. Shade could be one of those because right now...
He's right there.
He's with the Luma. Silex peeks this, he could very easily take him out. Shade's going to push up, he sees him. He's able to get him as Virtue will find Uni as well. Dokkaebi is not a lot of utility though, and that is not a devastating blow for Atletico.
Well, did the smokes get used? Because they're the only smokes that Atletico have. If Uni hasn't used them yet, then, well, Atletico have no smokes, and in such a smoke-heavy meta, it's really not looking good for Atletico. 50 seconds and just under to go in a 4 versus 4. This is where Atletico really have to use the fragging power that we know them for to push on in. The mirror is still functioning, which means they will be contending with a fight where they just cannot win looking onto that mirror. We have to see a hatch drop from Todd in order to make this an Atletico round.
Smokes are coming out as well. They're going to land, it looks like, perfectly. No, Silex is still going to be able to go for the plant. Todd finds Bobo. Another smoke coming out. And Silex is still not being gassed. Virtue will find one, but Atletico look like they're going to be successful with this plan. As it looks like Silex has been seen a little too late from Zapruder.
Oh no!
On the stairs, a revive's happening. So the Claymore from Silex takes down Zapruder, as that Claymore may end up saving them. The defenders are making the push right here. Emo will stop one, reaching Derpe on the stairs though, and it's all going to be up to Mirror right underneath the hatch right here, as he is going to have to find 2 people coming up these stairs.
He's on the drone. He's going to be pre-firing. Derpe, who's playing very safe. As you can see, Atletico doing the right choice here, not peeking this. Rock pulls out the ITA shotgun. It's not likely he's going to make this one work. Peeking around the corner, wide peeking right in between the 2 Atletico players. That's not going to work, not with that weapon. And that's Atletico, the 2nd round on the board, and another attack win.
That was such a close round. How nice of Silex to be guiding his teammates, even in death. That Claymore saved Atletico. Otherwise, those 2 people on the stairs would have been just taken out straight away. That was incredible. And
an interesting choice for Emarin to go for that revive. I personally, if it was me in that position, I probably wouldn't have revived my teammate. I would have
saw the Claymore though. He knew it was there, so it was probably a good idea. He knew that had his back, and when he heard it go off, he must have had a cheeky smile on his face. But it's going to be 2-1 up for Atletico. And the rounds are being traded back and forth right now. It doesn't mean anything just yet, but is Zero Gaming going to be able to take the Kids Dorms site, do you reckon?
Well, Zero Gaming lost their downstairs defense, and then next time around they had the option to change it up to somewhere else, and no, they decided to force it out and they lost again. Atletico lost this defense of the dorms very convincingly, I might add, and now they have an opportunity to change, and they've decided to go straight for it again. Doesn't bode well for them in my eyes.
I think they need to try and avoid those 2 early picks that Zero Gaming got last time, because from there they were in a disadvantage for the entire rest of the round. There was nothing they could do to bring that back.
Every time I see Silex playing on this objective as a defender, I see him getting shot through the windows. He's an anchor. He really shouldn't be getting shot from those exterior windows while rotating. I saw some really, I think it was when casting the Taboo versus Atletico game, the number of times poor Silex died from wallbangs of attackers just pre-firing from spawn. That was so unfortunate. Silex, I think he just needs to keep his head down early rounds so that he's actually maintaining a presence and some semblance of pressure on the side.
Yeah. Zero Gaming going to be making their way onto the roof right now, going to figure out where to push from. Shade and Virtue spraying some shots through some windows. We had a roam game from Atletico in the tower last time, but right now that's not going to be what they're going for again.
No, they decided to head on instead, doing a little bit more freedom. They're not you know, dedicating themselves, I should say, so much to the tower, because last time what happened is, well, they lost they lost 2 players earlier, and then the 2 players who were in tower had to head on back. Zapruder misses his Twitch drone, unfortunately. Like I was saying, there are not many places as a Twitch player you can actually put your drone into the site, and the problem with throwing it in one of these windows is it's very likely it'll get spotted, and on top of that, you end up in a very vulnerable position standing right outside one of these windows where you can get peeked. Yeah,
it sounds like Emo has been taking out some drones. Virtue's one is following him right now, and that vigil will help him get rid of that, but he's being pressured quite a bit by Zero Gaming. He's going to be able to come out on top here.
He's got Uni to back him up as well. Emorin and Uni playing in Classroom and at the lobby stairs, looking to hopefully, from their perspective, get someone coming and pinching in between them. Todd also still roaming in showers. He's potentially going to be the one looking to go for this flank up into small tower, which can deal so much damage to any players such as Shade playing here on the front, on the double window.
Atletico did this on bank as well.
Wow!
Derpe lands that perfectly right at Shade's feet, and that is bye-bye Shade. But Atletico have been having quite a few roamers every single time on bank, and right now on Oregon as well. It's working out for them sometimes, working out for them not others.
You know what I want to see from Zero? They just need to realize the exact position that Derpe has been playing every time and just pre-fire it, because you can pre-fire through that mattress. And Derpe has done so much work. Rock takes down Uni, but that's not all the work that needs to be done. Derpe still wrecking large inside of the site in big dorms. That shouldn't really happen. Bobo's a little bit concerned about small tower. Todd was in there, but as he looks the wrong way, Todd's going to clean him up. Todd still has eyes on Diffuser as well, and now it's all up to Virtue and Rock in a 2 versus 4 with 30 seconds remaining.
Virtue's going to be holding, Virtue's going to be holding Todd to rotate back from the big tower. He chooses to make that play, then he will be shut down very quickly. So we'll see how that turns out. But looks like Mira is going to be spotted out and down, but Emorin will come in for the save as Rock goes down, and Virtue's going to be pushing up the white stairs as Todd comes from behind. And Virtue falls along with Zero Gaming. Atletico take their 3rd round, and this is going to be them getting pretty close to match point right now, as they're already 1 map up.
Yeah, this is Zero Gaming's map, the map that you thought would heavily favor them. At the moment, I'm not seeing anything particularly amazing from Atletico. They're roaming heavy, which is an interesting strategy on the dorm site, but I don't know, it's working. Zero Gaming are getting sloppy. They're not controlling, for example, the small tower. Todd was allowed to rotate back into there. And in the end, Todd managed to deal so much damage from that position. As well, I really like the placement of the anchor inside of dorms, the way that Derpe was playing in there. Using that mirror window, he can actually peek into kids if they're trying to repel kids' windows. He can also do a lot of work onto big windows, he demonstrated, managing to get a C4 kill and another peek from that position.
Yeah, so mentioned before that Zero Gaming, their defenses have been a bit interesting, and they're going to be extending into the dining hall right now, which is quite strange, I'd certainly say, because it's not something you can defend, so reinforcing this up is almost a waste, I'd say.
One of the things that I see is that a lot of teams who are trying to push into the kitchen to take control of below the bomb site and work upwards from there, they start in small tower and they open up some holes in which you can get a nice long angle all the way into kitchen and to the far side of kitchen, and you can cut off a lot of rotates from there. Reinforcing those walls just prevents that angle from being opened, and it can stall a lot of teams if they rely on that angle in order to, you know, start their roam clear.
That is true. I'm not sure Atletico are going to be relying on that angle anytime soon, as Emo is, ooh, you can see that's Todd in the bathroom already, as he is going to be spraying through that wall, just dancing around Bobo right there. Bobo really has to get out of there. He's being Dokkai called, yeah. And Shade is going to be taken. No, Shade took out Todd. That was Ash in the bathroom. How did he get that kill right there?
Shade roaming inside of the dining. He can't be droned out while he has his ERC7 activated. He gets droned out once again. He's going to take out that drone as well. Done some work so far, but he's got more to find as they're going to be aggressing onto him shortly. Emorin pushing in. Oh no, but Emorin's looking the wrong way, and Shade takes out him as well, but Silex the refrag, oh too late. Now it's all up to Uni, Silex, and Derpe, the most supportive operators. They don't have the teeth that Todd and Emorin usually supply for Atletico.
Are the remaining support players on Atletico going to be able to clutch the round out? We'll have to wait and see. Zero Gaming, Shade's one of their fraggers, and he has been taken down as well. Rock still alive on Mira, though. That is going to be big. right now. Zero Gaming looks like they might finally have the advantage, but Derpay will shut that down, and it's going to be evened up as this is being traded back and forth and back and forth.
Silex is taking a couple of bullets as well from above inside of the kids' dorms from Rock, who's playing in there. A lot of holes aggressively used through the floor. It's up to Atletico now to decide how are we going to take this. We don't have a lot of the utility that we might usually. He's just going to be taking control of the cameras that the defenders have access to. It's not likely that's going to be hugely helpful for them, but it's a little something.
Yeah, Zapruder finds Silex just tapping away at his head. And that is going to be even harder as Diffuser has been lost. And Dokbai, her position will be revealed right here.
Only one bullet in that magazine was left after opening that window. But why are you peeking this still? Zapruder gets injured and punished because of it. This Mark 14 is a very formidable rifle. I think that you should probably take advantage of using it. And at the moment now, it's just the two Atletico players remaining who are going to be pushing onto this one. They're about to jump straight into Virtue's sightlines, though, and this isn't going to work as Virtue cleans both of them up. That smoke was not covering that angle, and that is a second round on the board for Zero Gaming. Oh, what?
It was covering the angle, I guess you could say, but Virtue didn't care. They all just jumped into his crosshairs, through the smoke, and clear. Now, Zero Gaming starting to bring it back, but I mean, I think Atletico made a couple clear mistakes that round. Emo started heading into the dining hall when it was the Vigil still just lying behind the table there. Bit of a assumption that it was clear when really cost him his life and almost...
He was looking for the Vigil. They knew he was somewhere nearby because the Vigil had been droned out, well, at least to the extent of they knew that the Vigil signals were around there and Vigil already got one kill. But as soon as he just looked in, he thought, all right, there's going to be no one prone behind that couch, right? Just the time when you think there's no one prone behind that couch is the time when he stands up and shoots you in the back of the head.
Yeah,
so
that really cost them. And Todd being taken out as well. Both of Atletico's fraggers being gone really hurts the team.
Yeah, honestly, the way that I think that these teams need to be dealing with the Vigil is if you can't drone him out, you need to peek him with two players. But both Todd and Emarin peeked him and took 1v1s without the intel on where he was. That managed to hand Vigil 2 kills based on that one.
Yeah. Looking at operator lineups here, we've got Zapruder. He's on Montagne. What do you think he's going to be doing with that here? Because I really just can't find a use for it. I'm a bit confused.
Montaigne is a decent operator on Oregon. Funnily enough, we actually saw, I mean, we talked about Penta and Montaigne earlier today, but we saw Penta bringing Montaigne on in a matchup at the Invitational against eiNs, and that actually worked really wonders for them. They actually did a downstairs tower push.
Yeah, I actually just realized what Zapruder's doing. They're going to be pushing the back. That's what I was saying before. Zero Gaming like pushing from the back, and they're going to be able to utilize that Montagne shield by walking in, being a bit safer in sight when they do so. Being behind the boxes when they do go for a plant is what I think their goal is. Todd's in the tower, though. This is almost an entry point for every team here. If he can get a couple frags like this and just jump out the window, Virtue's going to say no, but if he had gotten out there, that would have been devastating for Zero Gaming.
Uni's in a position to try and do some damage as well, but without a refrag onto Todd, he's missed his opportunity. But Silex there takes down Zapruder. That's the Monty off the board so soon. I don't know how Zapruder managed that one. Was that, I think Zapruder was meleeing that, and that exposed his head, and just at the right time, Silex peeked that. And I sure hope that Montaigne wasn't a crucial part of Zero Gaming's defense.
Nemo going to be tapping away as well as...
Oh, no.
Wow, how did Shade get that kill? He is still on half health, but Uni will have something to say about that. Shade falls in a 3-on-3 with Diffuser still sitting on the roof, actually.
The attackers on a 3-on-3 are going to have to grab that Diffuser. It looks like Virtue going to be rappelling up to get it. At this point, though, Atletico really just have to kind of anchor onto the site. They know a vague idea of where Zero are pushing from. They know they've taken out a Montaigne. They know they've taken out a Zafir. They've got a lot more work to deal, as Zero Gaming have to reassess their push here with only 1:30 on the clock.
Yeah, I think right now the remaining members of Zero Gaming have to decide where they want to push on site, because 3 people is still enough to plant and cover. It's entirely viable. I think possibly going for a main lobby push right now would be best, because you've got Habana, you can open some hatches. It's just executing a back push. You need the entire team, I'd almost say. You need enough people to execute the strategy that you have in mind, and I think a front push right now is just going to be easier because it's sort of a bit mindless. Every team knows how to do it. The
problem is that they have no way of countering the mirror that is on the laundry wall. Yes, they could try and Hibana it, but no doubt Atletico are prepared and have a mute jammer safely snug behind that mirror, and that won't let the Hibana destroy it. So with that said, I mean, 40 seconds to go. This is usually when you've already been kind of baiting out the smokes, but they haven't even got the hatch open. And yeah, there's no smokes on the side of Atletico, but there are 2 C4 that can be used to prevent this plant when it eventually does come down. The EE1D is going to go out, but look, Virtue and Rock are still droning. 25 seconds on the clock. This is when you need to be pushing into the bomb site. Atletico are just waiting, and now it's going to be Zero Gaming desperately jumping down into their sight lines. Uni finds the first one, Silex one onto Bobo. It's all up to Virtue as he flashes and jumps down onto site. Finds one onto Derpit, finds a second onto Uni. It's a 1v1. Silex versus Virtue. Can Virtue find this? No, Silex cleans it up. And that's another round for Atletico, leading them up 4-2.
I almost thought Virtue had it there. Virtue has been insane. He has been on some emo-rin level of play right here. And just, honestly, this is a... I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Virtue being picked up by a much higher up team right now. Well,
at the moment, I guess you could say Zero Gaming are top 4. And, you know, it's entirely possible that other teams are maybe looking at other players. I mean, a lot of people are uncertain about what the future of Zero Gaming is. People have talked about the roster swaps. Like we're saying, Bobo being here today, he's not played for them much.
Rock posted he was LFT about like a week or two ago. It's really strange and it's a bit unstable right now. But Virtue, he's being stable for himself, and I've been really impressed from everything we've seen since he swapped over from PS4.
Absolutely. Now it's match point for Atletico, series point, as they're up 1 map. This is Zero Gaming's map, and Zero Gaming really not looking too strong in it so far. They had a nice strategy there. I always admire trying things a little bit differently. So when I saw a tower push being attempted, I was happy, but Monty died very, very early, and Zero Gaming after that just didn't very effectively clear the roamers. And in the end, it was 3-on-3, and they just didn't do anything to make it work for them.
Yeah, it was a very tough round as soon as Zapruder on the Montagne got taken out. Right now, I think Zero Gaming, they have to play it safe, but at the same time, take some calculated risks and take the advantage off Atletico, try and get the opening frag if they can. But all the while being safe about it, they really just have to have things play into their hand, otherwise that is going to be it for them. And they're going to finish up 4th in the Pro League rather than 3rd.
Atletico seem to be pushing, doing a west side roam clear. Last time, well, I believe the first time that they pushed this site, they actually found Shade, who was roaming up here as a castle. Shade showed his face for a very brief moment, but then decided it's time to get out of here, and he has gone downstairs all the way back onto the site now, where he is going to be using that ERC7 to make Atletico a little bit worried about where is that Vigil. We can't drone him, we know he's somewhere, but where is he? But Todd is going to punish that Vigil who's getting aggressive there on the stairs, and it's not looking good for Zero Gaming.
Vigil was a thorn in the side for quite a few teams today, but not for Todd. He doesn't really care. And for Atletico, this has just got to be a textbook push from here. They've got the opening frag. They need to clear the rest of the map, get the hatches open, and probably just get some cover going, and then they should be ready to execute their plant, and that will be the game for them. But Zero Gaming, they've got some denial, they've got smoke. They can hold out. They just need to make the time tick down.
And on that note, I'm not convinced that Uni is going to be using these smoke grenades to the best of their ability in order to waste out the C4 and the gas canisters from Zapruder, because we haven't seen Uni make good use of those smokes previously. As you saw, Uni on that flank watch is going to see that Bobo is tempted to be pushing up from the rear tower stairs and go for a flank. No doubt Atletico are prepared and will have guns pointed in his direction should he try and attempt that push.
Bomb located by attackers.
Yep, so right now, Emo, he's going to start heading down those stairs. Todd's going to clear some barbed wire for him, and that plane is surely going to be on its way shortly. Silex is getting ready, a minute to go. Plenty of time. That Claymore once again as Silex takes a lot of health just to put that down. It did save them the other round, but
I'd really like to see Silex giving the diffuser over to one of his teammates now, who should be the bomb planter. Silex, especially since that Zephyr charge took down a lot of his HP, he does not have enough health to take this diffuser plant. Is he going to take it anyway? No way. Surely not. Even 1 second of a gas babe is too much for him. Emorin's going to jump in. Silex still has the diffuser above the hatch. Silex gets taken down from a C4. A shot from Emorin onto Zapruder. There's so much time left. Emorin finds a second, but Virtue on the flank finds 2 onto Uni and Emorin. Todd pushing in from the side is going to clean up Rock, but a frag from Virtue. He got himself 3 kills, but it wasn't enough. Derpair cleans it up, and that is GG 5-2. Atletico taking the second map in this best of 3 series and cleaning it up here.
Atletico come out 3rd place in the Pro League for ANZ. And that was honestly, that was such a good round. You saw Atletico, I mean, Silex got taken out and they couldn't get the plant down. Then you just saw a whole series of frags get traded back and forth. Virtue got an amazing 2K.
13 kills for Virtue. What an amazing player. He got more kills than the rest of his team combined. The rest of his team only managed to pull 10 kills between them. He got 13 on that map.
Virtue is just, honestly, since he transitioned over from PS4, I don't know what it was like on PS4, but it feels this insane that surely he had to be someone back there, because this is honestly, the caliber of play he's shown. We've seen the likes from Warden today. We've seen from Emo Rin. Just honestly amazing players, and he is joining the ranks of one of them. I think he's not someone to be counted out. And
one thing that I've really enjoyed as a result of that is seeing a lot of the PS4 community starting to watch the PC Pro League streams. You see them in the chat, you say hi, they say, oh, I'm here because I used to play with Virtue or something or other. And it's really nice bringing the communities together, because of course PC is the only community that actually got a Pro League.
Yeah, Virtue's the Mindfreak of the PS4 community.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
So yeah, I've seen a bunch of highlights right here, including this one where Shay just stands up. Emo really should have taken a bit more care behind that bench.
I really think Atletico could have dealt with the Vigil a lot better. Oh, honestly, I don't understand the Dockerby, really.
Yeah, there's so much better utility. Like a Glaz is just, honestly,
it's not even like Uni was fragging amazingly on the Dockerby. He wasn't even using the DMR very much. DMR is a fantastic weapon, just like the SMG-12. And the utility of Dockerby really not becoming helpful, and they're not using the smokes to their fullest effect either in a lot of the scenarios. I was a little bit concerned for Atletico. Some of their operator picks seemed to be a little bit strange for me. This was a fantastic attempt from Virtue, almost a 1 versus 3 clutch. With only a few seconds on the board, Silex clamped that one up.
That was insanely close. This is the last round here, where Emo drops down, finds a bunch of frags, and there's just so many kills going back and forth that really just don't know what's happening until Virtue gets a nice 2K here. Unfortunately, Silex did shut him down eventually. Sorry, Derpe shut him down, and that was the end of that round in a 1v1. Happened so quickly.
It really did, and that's Atletico taking the series 2-0, and as such, 3rd place in the ANZ Pro League. Now, what does 3rd place mean, many people will ask? Well, one thing that we haven't really talked about is seeding for next Pro League. Yeah,
you can head into it a bit easier, bit more secure in your seat versus a bit better teams.
Why don't we talk about the next Pro League a little bit? Of course, next Pro League, we're having a new format for the Pro League, which is really exciting for a lot of people. Yeah. Not only are we going to have 6-month seasons instead of just half that, we're actually having a new format for the in-game system.
Yeah, it'll be 5 rounds of attack followed by 5 rounds of defense. That's going to be really interesting, because I think Rainbow's a game about adaptation. It's a game about figuring out what your opponent's doing, then circumventing that. And if you have 5 attack rounds in a row, then you can figure out what went wrong in the last round a bit easier, change it, do it again. And then if your opponent's changed something, just keep changing things over and over, and it's an endless spiral.
So let's have a look at what's been happening so far in the playoffs and how everything panned out. So as you can see, Darksided and Atletico in the first knockout of the playoffs. Darksided took that 2-1, a very close one, but Darksided coming out on top, the worthy victors, and that earned themselves their spot at LAN. Mindfreak taking on Zero Gaming. We were very surprised to see Mindfreak let Zero Gaming get so far as they did in that match.
Yeah, Zero Gaming are a good team. They certainly are. They made it this far. They're 4th overall in ANZ. I think Mindfreak, that we've seen them slipping up a bit lately. A bit worrying, but also positive, because there might be other teams out there that we've seen that might be able to pick up the banner of ANZ's best team and show the world that Mindfreak aren't our only top-tier team.
The way I see it is I really like it to see when we have a lot of competition and, you know, other teams challenging the top teams, but I want that to be because the second to top team is playing really well, not because the top team is playing below their standard. And I feel like, unfortunately, I mean, it's a harsh truth, but Mindfreak has been playing below their standard recently. They've been making mistakes that they just shouldn't be making at their level. And I mean, it's a bit disappointing, but they've got a lot of time to practice before LAN.
Yeah. Darksided, though, they did splendidly today. We saw Warden especially. Warden was insane. Warden and Virtue. Oh, yeah. They were 2 players on 2 teams that lost that just did incredible. And I mean, really, the loss on their streak now just doesn't display the caliber of play that we saw from them today.
So, Darksided fell to Mindfreak. They took seed 1.
Yep.
Yeah, and Atletico took over 3rd place in the match against Zero Gaming. That's what we've had for you tonight. And that leaves us with the top of the Pro League, Mindfreak in 1st place, Darksider taking 2nd, Atletico, and then Zero Gaming taking 4th place.
And this is all going to culminate into the APAC regional finals next weekend.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for that. We're going to have the top 8 teams from the entire of the APAC region, each of the 4 sub-regions, ANZ, for which we will be seeing Mindfreak and Darksider, Southeast Asia, South Korea, and also Japan.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people are really concerned about Japan because Japan have got some really strong teams.
Yeah, people are getting worried about them. Mindfreak maybe want to start scrimming them, getting some practice in early because things could change.
We've got a week and a half before that happens, but I'm sure that you guys will be joining us for that one as well. I've been Dev Marta, and joining me, of course, has been Elastic.
Thank you, and looking forward to next weekend.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic APAC LAN. I hope that if you're not joining us in the studio for the event itself, you'll be joining us on the stream. And until then, we'll see you guys next time.